Hey guys, and welcome back. I'm Simon, bringing you more Magic the Gathering lore. Today we're going to take a closer look at Planar Bridge, a new masterpiece coming out with Aether Revolt. While the card in and of itself is amazing and certainly interesting in terms of several formats, it also means a lot for the ongoing story of Kaladesh. Obviously, a portal to different worlds that can transport objects and perhaps even people who aren't Planeswalkers would be huge for any storyline. But it's not like it's a brand new idea for MTG. In this video, we'll be comparing this new Planar Bridge with some other forms of interplanar travel we've seen in Magic the Gathering's history. Apparently, there's more than one way to travel throughout the multiverse. Now, the Planar Bridge is the device which was built by the elf inventor Rashmi under threat from the Planeswalker Tezzeret. We don't know what he wants it for just yet, but he's probably not using it to summon in his favorite meals from across the multiverse. One thing that sets this portal apart from others is that Rashmi, its inventor, has specifically said that her device can only transport inorganic material. This was confirmed when her prototype managed to only transport a vase, but not the flowers it was holding. Although her new, much larger version may have enough power to move even organic matter, as she herself was plunged into the blind eternities for a short time while using her machine. Its true capabilities are still a little unknown. So that's the planar portal on Kaladesh, but it's not the only one in the multiverse. Over the years, we've seen several pop up from various different sources on a number of different planes. Of course, being the apex of the multiverse, Dominaria has seen its fair share of interloping portals, many of which came from, you guessed it, Phyrexia. Apparently, being in a constant state of war with a highly advanced race of basically robot zombies is a good way to cook up some portals. One of the first portals ever opened in MTG was opened by a Thrain planeswalker named Defed. Defed was trying to help a then very human-looking Yawgmoth find a plane where he could build his own utopia. Being a planeswalker and a Thrain, Defed had this power, and found a world of metal called Phyrexia. Yawgmoth took a liking to the place, and, well, you know what happens next. Since that day, Phyrexia has become a mecca for portal travel, traveling to worlds like Dominaria and Mercadia. But it's not just the world of Phyrexia which holds this power. The Phyrexians themselves are able to travel between planes based on their technological advancements. Thus, when they crafted an artificial plane to use as a staging point for their invasion of Dominaria, you better believe it came equipped with some portals. On the artificial plane known as Wrath, the Phyrexians set up several portals designed to capture humanoids across the multiverse in order to fuel their army. The portals filled the skies and sucked up individuals unlucky enough to be caught in their path. These portals would then be turned to Dominaria to assist in the invasion, while the plane itself phased into a parallel existence to its target. So yeah, easy to say, the Phyrexians were really into portal travel. But that's not to say they were the only ones. I'm sure many of you remember a little thing called the Dwarven Gate on the plane of Ulgratha. Ulgratha, also known as the Homelands, was a small backwater plane far from Dominaria, but that doesn't mean it wasn't important. The Dwarven Gate was just one of the many mysteries found on this world. This portal was discovered deep in an ancient underground city which once belonged to dwarves, but since had been abandoned. Above ground, the dwarves constructed a massive castle which they named the Castle of Morning Light. Of course, with a name like that, you knew something bad was gonna happen. And of course, the vampire Baron Sengir came with his army and cast the dwarves out, making this and the portal below his new home. From his formidable Castle Sengir, the vampire lord planned to conquer all of Ulgratha, then take his army and march them through the Dwarven Gate, taking whatever waited on the other side. Although visions and prophecies foretold of his attack on other worlds, they kinda haven't happened yet. For all we know, the Baron is still trying to achieve his original goal of conquering Ulgratha. We don't even know where this Dwarven Gate leads. Perhaps, if we ever return to this story, we'll find out. Similarly to the portals on Wrath, we saw what were known as soul traps constructed on the metal world of Mirrodin. These soul traps were created by Memnarch, a golem set up by Karn to protect his world while he traveled in the multiverse. Add a hint of jealousy and a drop of corrupting black Phyrexian oil, and, well, you get disaster. Memnarch built the soul traps in order to bring living, organic life to Mirrodin, basically to farm them. Memnarch was waiting for one of the sentient beings to produce a Planeswalker spark. Then he would, harvest it, and try to turn himself into a Planeswalker like his creator, Karn. Like on Wrath, these portals sucked up random beings from various planes, but it's unknown whether or not someone or something could take them to leave Mirrodin. And lastly, we have the most recent portal to open up on a plane, and that happened with our return to Innistrad. Nahiri, being all pissed off at Sorin, planned to take revenge on his home world by ushering in the same monster which almost destroyed hers, the Eldrazi Titan Emrakul. Now, this portal was set up in the Drownyard Temple on the coast of Nephalia, just as the shore met the ocean. Nahiri used her lithomancy to create curved stones which channeled the plane's mana ley lines to the portal, fueling it and summoning forth Emrakul into Innistrad's reality. This portal is pretty different from the others mentioned here because it's not a true portal anyone can take. It's more like a signal which drew Emrakul in, and yet it still transported Emrakul from the Blind Eternities onto Innistrad, so it's kind of a gray area here. Outside of portals, we of course also have some famous ships that were capable of interplanar travel, probably the most famous being the skyship Weatherlight, created by the Planeswalker Urza. As it was the ship of Dominaria, it was bound to find an enemy in Phyrexia, which produced its own flagship known as the Predator, which coincidentally didn't actually have the ability to travel between planes. When you look at these two ships side by side and understand this history, you can look at cards like Heart of Kirin and Sky Sovereign Consul Flagship and wonder if we'll be seeing a returning theme from this older story. Who knows, but it's fun to think about. Anyway guys, that was just a brief history of portals and interplanar travel in Magic the Gathering, and it certainly looks like we're gonna see something new pop up in Aether Revolt with Planar Bridge. Let me know your guys' thoughts and theories on this in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video and want to support the channel, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, share it with friends, and subscribe for all the latest MTG news and lore. As always guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.